Do you want to learn a golf swing that never breaks down? You're probably overcomplicating it right now. I'm going to teach you in today's video the simplest form of how the golf swing works so you can hit repeatable, great golf shots. So to understand the golf swing, it's actually like a lot of other sports. If you imagine any rotational sport, it's going to start with a little bit of a shift. Think throwing a javelin, think throwing a football, think throwing a baseball. There is a little bit of shift before you start turning and rotating, and that's what we want in the golf swing. The first thing that we need to have happen in your golf swing is we need to make a little shift off of the golf ball. Once you make that shift off of the golf ball, then we're going to get the arms to get up, then we're going to turn and rotate, then we're going to bring the arms down, and then through impact. And again, it is a shift, a turn, a shift, and turn. You're going to hear me say this a lot today because it is the most important part of the golf swing is getting the body involved. You want to get the club moving fast earlier in your backswing so that it can start floating near the top rather than it bouncing all over the place. How do you do that? Well, the first drill we're going to do is with another club. So all I want you to do is just grab another club. If you've got an 8-iron, grab a 7-iron, 9-iron, grab an 8-iron. I want you to marry them up together. What we're going to do is we're going to start learning how to move the mass of the club, which is the balance point, and then a little bit out in space and time, faster earlier because we're going to start shifting the body to put energy into the club. All the best golfers in the world put more energy into the club earlier. Where recreational golfers have this slow and low takeaway, and then they got to try and put energy into the club later. We don't want that. If we put energy into the club down here, we can let it coast up to the top because it's got all the energy in there. And then we can change direction and bring it into the golf ball. The drill I want you to do is just, you can put a ball there. We're not going to hit it, but all I want you to do is get comfortable. How would you start shifting back and forth to move this club in front of you? This is not rotation, right? I'm not rotating around to do this. I'm just shifting back and forth, moving this club out in front of me. Then once you get comfortable with that, then we're going to add in some arm lift. Now, this is going to look a little funny at the beginning because the arm's going back straight up, but that's actually what happens in the golf swing. Once you get comfortable with that, then we're going to add in some body rotation. Now look where my arms are in the club are at the top of my backswing, which is, again, maybe the myth that a lot of people struggle with because they think that the golf swing is purely rotational. Again, that's where you get that like low inside lift and then rotate over the top motion because golfers don't understand they need to lift their arms. So the second drill I want you to work on is you can swing the club out in front of you. But once you feel like you're going to pass the club over top of the golf ball, you're then going to raise up your lead arm until it is parallel to the ground. Once you've made that motion, then you can turn and rotate. And voila, again, I'm at a great position at the top. From here, I shift back towards the target, and then I'm just going to strike the golf ball. Here's the drill. And that's all we're looking for. It is the simplest way of understanding the golf swing, and it's just a shift. The arms elevate, the turn brings the arms and the club around. You shift back towards the target as the arms drop, and then you rotate and collect the golf ball. Without overcomplicating anything in the golf swing, this is what you need to do in order to make a repeatable pattern over and over again and have your arms and the club come down on a really good plane. Let's say you can't practice inside, you can't swing a club. I'm a big fan of doing a lot of work either in the gym or at home with kettlebells because kettlebells are going to add a little bit of weight, but you can hold them almost like a golf club. Get into your dress position. From here, we're going to do that exact same pattern, swinging your arms in front with your pressure shift. And so you're shifting back and forth, back and forth. And then once you feel like you're getting that really good shift in here, then we're going to elevate the arms. As we elevate the arms, you're going to feel like you want to turn and load into this trail hip, add in that rotation. But first it's the shift. Shift, arms up, rotate, shift, arms work down, rotate. It's a great way of learning how to stop that over the top. If you're someone that overtops, you probably rotate too early, lift late, rotate too early, right? We want that polar opposite of that. How would you do that with the kettlebell? This action. Do 20 a day of these and your brain is going to start going, oh, that's a really good pattern. That's easy. The weight sort of falls behind me and then you can pull it back into the golf ball. It's a great drill for you. Now, we've got the shift, we've got the turn and the arm lift and the backswing. When does the transition happen? The transition, which is probably the most important after the backswing, the transition happens actually somewhere between shaft parallel and lead arm parallel. And it is very early. Again, this is a key concept that a lot of golfers are struggling with. It's not a backswing, stop, downswing. We need to get the shift back towards the target happening earlier in your swing. A great drill is either a little mini step drill or the drill that I've got where it's like, okay, I want you to put the glove out in front of you. You're gonna swing it again over top of where the golf ball goes. Once you feel like you're gonna get over top of that golf ball, we're gonna elevate the arm to be about lead arm or parallel with the ground. We're gonna turn, and as you're turning, you're gonna already feel like you're trying to fall back towards the target. A great feel for a lot of golfers that have played contact sports, either football or hockey. It's almost like, especially hockey, once you're nearing, again, that position about lead arm parallel, you're almost trying to body check somebody back towards the target. It's a great feel for getting that transition to happen earlier. So again, we're gonna put the club out in front. We're gonna swing it over top of the golf ball. We're gonna elevate that lead arm, turn, and feel like we're trying to body check somebody. It's just like this. And what that does is that creates a great recentering in the golf swing. The arms and the club work down free. That's what we're looking for in that shift before we rotate. Now, the last bit, we've got the rotation. The rotation for golfers is from the shoulder line down. The shoulders themselves are gonna try to stay as close as long as possible for most golfers. There are some golfers that might do that, but you're gonna be in the minority, I should say, of golfers. So what does it mean to turn and rotate? Well, the rotation is not from spinning like a top. It's not someone turning me this way, because you can see how as I turn the head, neck, eyes, well, usually my shoulders go. For most golfers, what you're gonna want to feel like is your head, neck, eyes stay back behind the golf ball. Your shoulders are gonna stay with your neck and your head, and then your torso and hip are gonna open. And that primarily is driven from going into the ground. But the simplest form, again, is all that we're trying to do is we're trying to shift, elevate the arms, again, just about lead arm parallel with the ground, rotate, and again, as we're starting to get to about lead arm parallel, we're already starting to fall back in here, and then we're gonna turn and rotate because we're gonna feel like we're trying to push into the ground this way and drive that hip back. It is not from the shoulders that the rotation is driven from. Once you get comfortable with that, just put a ball on a tee really slowly. Again, you can do a couple of the same drills, and then we can start hitting just regular golf shots. Hit them 20 yards, 30 yards, really comfortable going like, okay, I wanna feel like I shift. I wanna feel like my arms are elevating. I wanna feel like I'm turning. As I get to about lead arm parallel, I wanna feel like I'm trying to fall back into that target. That's gonna trigger my arms to work down. And then from there, I wanna feel like I'm trying to push into the ground this way, which drives my hip back, which opens up my body and gets that last bit of rotation in there. Lastly, we're gonna start building it all together. The way you're gonna wanna practice this on the range is you're gonna set up a camera. You're gonna take 5 balls out of the bucket, put the bucket out of the way so you don't go into zombie range session, just peppering golf ball after golf ball. You're gonna hit shots at 10% speed. A full golf swing, working on these, both you could do face on and down the line, and then build up through this. Again, it's the simplest form, getting comfortable going, I want to shift and bring my arms up in front of me. I'm gonna turn and rotate. As I'm turning and rotating towards the top, I wanna shift back towards that lead side. Again, that's gonna trigger the arms to drop. Then we're gonna push up out of the ground. The shift, turn, shift, coming from Dr. Kwan. He's possibly one of the smartest, scientists in golf right now. We want to use how the body moves naturally. This is athletic motion in the golf swing. This is no longer just swinging inside a barrel. There's no power in that. Believe it or not, having a proper shift, and then this is early, not late. Late is sway. We don't want that. Getting comfortable going shift, turn is going to enable you to hit better golf shots over and over again is what you want. Now, as you get comfortable with that, of course, we're gonna ramp up the speed and the power to that, but understanding that it's a shift, it's an arm lift, it's a shift, and it's an arm drop, and then rotation is what we want in the golf swing in order to hit pretty good golf shots over and over and over again. Then you, of course, can build pressure into that, but start slow on the range. Give yourself time to feel these things. Now, of course, there's all these little intricacies inside the golf swing that, what one golfer needs, another golfer needs a little less. If you need help with that, please find me on the Skills app. I would love to help you out. I'm also running a contest till the end of November For one lucky subscriber to win a free month of unlimited golf lessons, all you need to do is comment down below something that you would like me to cover in a next YouTube video. Be a subscriber and like this video for your chance to enter into that contest, which I'll pick a winner at the end of the month. Otherwise, I hope this helped you out. Have yourself a great day.